morning, everyone. Welcome to AM Sports here with me, Muftawu Nabila Abdullah. The local organizing committee for Africa Games 2023, they have officially announced the new date for the organization of the games. You would recall that Joy Sports reported that the games were going to be postponed, which indeed came to pass. And we also mentioned that there was a possibility the games was going to be staged between April and May. However, the local organizing committee, in conjunction with the Africa Union, have announced that the competition will rather start on the 8th of March and end on March 23. We hear from Dr. Decius Chipande, who represents the African Union and made the announcement on Tuesday night.
Following the negotiated agreement on the unity, on the tripartite approach in terms of organized success, the great investment, great efforts, and we have been assured by the Ministry of Sports and will be fully ready to even following also in agreement with the dates that have been proposed by the Republic of Ghana, and the closing ceremony will be on the 23rd of March 2024. 23 will be held from 8th March 2024 to 23rd March 2024. And on behalf of Her Excellency, Commissioner for Health, Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, Her Excellency Ambassador Minata Samate Sesuma, the African Union Commission would like to call upon all stakeholders that include African Union member states, sports confederations, sports councils, associations, African Olympic committees, councils, and all potential partners and stakeholders to support the Republic of Ghana towards the hosting of very, very successful African Games in 2024.
We hear from the local organizing committee chairman, Dr. Ofosu Asare, who revealed the decision that influenced their choice of choosing March 8th and for the start of the competition.
Athletes and officials will be arriving from the 5th to 7th. So 5th, 6th, 7th. The interesting aspect also is that 6th of March is our Independence Day. And we want to give them the opportunity also to have a feel of how we celebrate our Independence Day. This year we are 66 years. So in 2024 will be 67. And don't forget that Vice President Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was one of the founding fathers of the African Games. So it will be very interesting to see how our brothers will be joining us to celebrate our independence. You remember he said the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it's linked to the total liberation of Africa. So it's an opportunity for us to bring the entire Africans together. And one of the key objectives of the African Games is unity. And another key pillar is peace. And if you consider what is going on the continent, it will be a very good opportunity for us to promote peace, unity, solidarity, brotherliness, and to ensure that we create a very, very important opportunity for the youth and for the growth and development of Africa.
We move to a never-ending story now, and that has to do with the new Edibiase Stadium. This story has been running for the past 7 years. Government or successive governments have failed to put up the structure, and now the Minister of Youth and Sport, Muftawu Yusuf, has announced that the contract will be handed to a new contractor because the person who currently holds the contract has abandoned the job. And he says that it is important for government to put together the structure, and his office is committed to ensuring that by the time they exit office, the facility would be ready.
The new project for the construction of sports stadium started smoothly, but ran into challenges and has remained same for a couple of years. The project faced engineering challenges and was redesigned, packaged and contracted to Mrs. Shakdem Company Limited. The contractor started NS but abandoned sites for the past 2 years. All attempts aimed at ensuring that the contractor returns to site fails. Mr. Speaker, all these unfortunate events happened during the Ministry of Youth and Sports consistently honoring the obligation by paying all the interim certificates, and that's the IPC submitted by the contractor. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, we had no option than to terminate the contract, and the project will be repackaged and awarded to a new contractor. Yes, the contractor had challenge, and in contract process, it's not just as easy as just terminating. You need to go through certain process. You have to give the contractor warning for not getting to site. You need to make sure that the consultant assess the work done, and when all this fails, that is where you terminate. So we have needed to go through the process of ensuring that we give the contractor a fair opportunity, and that is why it has taken time. But like I said here, finally we have terminated the contract, and we are in the process of repackaging it and awarding it to a new contractor to come to site and complete the project for the good use of the people of New Edubiasi.
Let's talk about Ghana Premier League now. And this season, there have been concerns surrounding the low patronage of Ghana Premier League matches. Well, the Chief Executive Officer of Dreams FC, Aminu Shado, says that supporters must be made to feel a part of the product.
Fan interaction and mobilization.
Fantastic.
It's very key. We need to also devote resources into nurturing your support base. Very, very key.
Yeah, I think
and one way, Samates Omoyano. In fact, I'm picking so many lessons because I had a shock of my life. Because I came for FA Cup, I say football, but when you go into the communities, in fact, people almost supported Division 2 clubs even more than Premier League clubs. Because Division 2 is within their community and they feel part of it. Until we can replicate it at the highest level, we should bring the fans and the supporters close to the club. Open the club up. Let them be part of it. Once they feel a part of it, a bare obligation, on every match day, they have to go to it. So that's what happens everywhere in the world. They feel obligated on match day, say, support it because they feel part and parcel of the football club. And one thing now, we share most of stadiums now, supporter participation high. We share more engagement with our supporters. It was fun investment. And I knew investment. Any constant engagement. The results on the field of play.
Fantastic.
Well, now let's talk about yesterday. I was asked a question. Whether there is a sector in Ghana which is doing well. That is a major question, because if you take a look at almost every single sector in the country, there are question marks attached. Well, Joy Sports has rolled out what we describe as bush resource centers. This follows government decision to put together multi-purpose youth resource centers across the country. The then Minister of Youth and Sports, Isaac Esiama, had said that they were going to construct multi-purpose youth facilities across the 10 regions of Ghana. They started at the Azuma Nelson Youth Resource Center, just next to us here. That is a Kaneshi Sports Complex. Well, just because of 400,000 Ghana cedis, take a look at what the facility has become.
This is the Azuma Nelson Sports Youth Resource Center, named after legendary Ghanaian boxer Azuma Nelson. The facility was supposed to serve as a multi-purpose sports center fit enough to accommodate more than 40 different sporting disciplines when completed. Also known as the Kaneshi Sports Complex, the facility was built during the era of the Supreme Military Council and the General Achampong in the 1970s. It served as a training base for teams during AFCON 1978, which Ghana hosted and won. Since then, however, years of neglect had placed on the back burner the plans of the people running sports in the country. Various governments had made promises to upgrade the facility to its stature as a functioning multipurpose sports center. but none had made good on their promises. But in March 2018, then Sports Minister Isaac Esiama finally commissioned renovation works to start on the facility.
We are securing the future of Ghana sports through this investment. And I can tell you, in the next 20 years, Ghanaians will remember one person called President Akufo-Addo for the huge investment he made in sports. This huge one. Across the country, we are going to do all these things. By November, you will see 10 multi-purpose youth centers. That can take off about 5,000 people. Sitting capacity 5,000. So we can even play some of the national matches. Understand? Yes, big matches. Black Queens can come and play maybe in Wa, because we're going to do one in Wa. They can go to Navrongo, go do one in Navrongo. They can go to Nehini, go do one in Nehini. So it's going to be across the country, spread across the country, so that everywhere you go, you have quality, modern sporting facility.
That was former Sports Minister Isaac Esiama in March 2018. It was supposed to be the dawn of a new era for sports infrastructure in the country. When completed, it was supposed to seat up to 5,000 people with a swimming pool and all kinds of adjoining facilities, including a running track to go with. And it was supposed to cost some $4 million and just 9 months to complete.
Each contractor has 9 months to complete the project. If we factor in the rainy season, it depends on the intensity of rain. It could go up to 11 or 12 months, not more.
But nearly 5 years later, this is the state of the project. In December of 2021, the new Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf stated that the project was 90% complete.
If we are going to be able to identify talent in the various regions or our various communities, we can't do that without these facilities being completed. So government is committed, especially when we have already invested so much in these facilities. We can't abandon. And it's the same government. Government is continuous. And so the assurance can be getting from me. What I've realized that it was in phases. So we have phase 1, phase 2. So currently, I've engaged the consultant working on it and also the National Youth Authority, which is the agency that supervises those projects. So I can give you assurance that, yes, those facilities will be completed on time so that the identification of talent in the various regions where we have this facility, we can use those as a center. Even as one Nation Sports Complex, Carnegie Sports Complex can also even be used during the games.
Of course.
People can go there and compete, especially on football. It's media standard. So it's something that we are working on and to ensure that we get it done. Some of them were 90%, 70%, and 80%. There are various stages of completion.
And he wasn't wrong, because at the time, the stands were done. The pitch was done. It was looking green and lush. But barely a year later, this is the state of it. Abandoned and left to become a breeding ground for all kinds of reptiles. The Azumah Nelson Sports Complex is not befitting of the legend it's named after. In its current state, only animals can play sport here. At the time of abandonment, the project was indeed close to completion. With the VIP stand constructed and roofed, the 4 stands constructed and the seats fixed. The drainage system had also been done, and the groundwork had been prepared for the Titan tracks to be laid. All of that, however, has now been left to rot. The compound is bordered by walls of weeds, and the facility, in totality, has now become a breeding ground for reptiles, which have made here a happy home. Dammers and moles have eaten the white paint-coated goalposts, giving them an unpleasant look of distress. The football pitch is strangled by weeds, with the VIP stand divided by a risky pit. The renovation of the Azumah Nelson Sports Complex, also known as the Carnegie Sports Complex, was part of government's aggressive sports infrastructural drive and is the first of 10 being constructed across the country. Government said it formed part of efforts to address the sports infrastructure deficit in Ghana. The facilities, when completed, would each house an 8-lane athletic track, a FIFA standard pitch, career counseling center, basketball and handball court, as well as a multi-purpose sports hall, a restaurant, and an ICT center. The mini stadiums would also have a seating capacity of 5,000. The most disappointing thing about this place is that it looks like it was actually this close to completion. A majority of the money had already been spent, and what was left to finish the project was only a fraction. But that fraction hasn't come. And of course the contractors departed, and the place has now degenerated into this eyesore.
That is you and I's $4 million just sleeping there, spent on a facility to unearth talent. And just because of 400,000 Ghana cedis, trust me, if you send your son or daughter to the Azuma Nelson Youth Resource Center, trust me, that child will be missing, and you'll have to go and look for your child. It's absolutely incomprehensible. It's incomprehensible that so much that government said they were going to do for sports in the country. This is what we have. And guess what? We were made to understand there was no money. When we asked questions, they said, oh, they didn't have a board. It was being managed by the National Youth Authority. They said the acting chief executive officer could not spend up to 100,000 Ghana. They needed a board. Guess when the board was formed? And guess what the facility looks like? Just as you saw. Next week, we'll be taking you to Koforidua, where you'll be seeing another eyesore of a facility. Millions of dollars pumped into these facilities. And like I was asked yesterday, is there any sector that's actually functioning in this country? That's a question you and I would have to answer. AM Sports here with me, Muftawu Nabila Abdullahi.